what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this tutorial. Okay, so there are questions. I'm going to start from question 7. Don't ask me why I'm starting from question 7. There are other 6 questions which I've already done. So I'm going to start from question 7. Now, write a function to take a value in a given list nums by the user, and write another function to basically check if the list is empty or not. Now that requires you first to write a function that actually takes the values from the user. So I have already written a function that takes the values from the user. So I'm going to get rid of this code, it's not needed. So this is a function. I'm just going to quickly explain you. I will explain you only once and will not explain you again. So this is the name of the function, user input. Number is an empty list. Okay, that's where you define an empty list. Then you start with the while loop and you start asking user to enter a number. Okay, and once it's done, write done. Okay, and whatever user enter, you turn it to a lowercase, and then you strip, mean you basically remove any empty spaces. This is you do just want to make sure if he write done with the D capital or N capital or put spaces on the beginning or end of the done, you want to strip those spaces, turn it to lower, so you compare it with the lowercase. So doesn't matter the way he said D-O-N-E in a capital, it will convert it to lower and compare it with this. When the user type done, it will break the loop, which means the program will come directly here and return whatever is there in numbers. And if the user doesn't enter done, it will come into else part and add whatever user enter by first converting it to integer and appending it to this empty list. So if user enter, let's say 1, it will be added to number list. If user enter 10, it will be added to the number list. And when user say done, it will exit and return the list. So if you want me to basically show you how it works, is simple as that. Let's say we have to call this function. Obviously we cannot, and you can call it say L1, which means a new list, right? Because it is going to return you a list, and you need to obviously save that list somewhere, right? So I just called it and I run this function, because you think is unless you call the function, right? Unless you call the function, it will not execute. So here you have to call the function. Here you're just defining the function. Just remember that, right? You have to call the function for it to work. So let's start up with this again. So here we already start. So I say 1, 2, 20, 30, 40, and then I'm done. So I say done, and this will be saved into L1. So I should actually print this so that you can see it, right? L1, print L1, so we'll print it at the end now. So I say 1, 2, 30, 40, and I say done, it'll be finished, and here you go. See, whatever you entered here is basically printed here because of this. So this is your list, right? This is your list that has been done by the user. So this is the first part of the question where it says write a function to take a value in a given list number. We did that because we even named it number. You see, well, I mean, you could call it number, right? And then by the user, and then write another function to check whether a list is empty or not. So what we do is write another function now, and that's basically I given the code here, right? Simple is that. If the length is equal to 0, that means that there is it's empty, right? So what we have to do is we have got that one from the user, so we call it number, right? We're going to call it nums, because that's what I said in the question, nums, right? Nums, okay, and then we define a function. We call it, what do we call it? Define is empty, okay? Def is list empty, okay? And here we return length, okay, is equal to length of what? You have to obviously here say nums, right? That's what you're going to pass. So nums, right? And when you return, you want to make sure it return basically if it is equal to, you say return equal to 0, that means it will return true if it is equal to 0, right? So if you say equal to 0, and if the value is printed as true, right, is the list empty, right? If value is entered is basically if it print true, that means the list is empty, right? So you want to maybe just directly print it, and obviously you want to call it by passing this nums here, nums, right? This nums, right? So you basically asking user to enter this right? Take this, pass it here, it'll come here and it'll check its length. If it is equal to 0, it return true, otherwise it return false. So now, if I run this program, let's see print true or false, right? Okay, where is it? Here we go, right? So I say 1, 2, 3. This is not empty, is it, right? So I say this done, it'll say error. It say error. Why say error? I will do that. Let me fix the error. It's is, right? It's not L. Is list empty, right? And we're gonna go ahead and do this anyway. Here we go. False, which means it's not empty. So when is empty then? If I run it, I say I say done. It's empty. So true. Here we go. You see? You got it true. So that's what it's all about. Well, we spent a little longer on this one because we had to explain this question. So we won't be doing this in next question. So every question will be within 3 minutes hopefully. So let's move on to the next one because we need to finish off this. Second question is write a function, right? Take a value from the given number nums by the user. So it's exactly the same what we did earlier on. And write another function to find the index of the first occurrence of that element in the list. So what we need to do is we need to find a target when it happened first. For example, if we go here, right? So what we do is now what I'll be doing is I'll be removing this. I will leave this function there because that's what's gonna get us the actually input from the user. So that's the first part of the question. The second is the write another function to find index. So we call it find first index, right? Say find def, okay? Find first index, right? And what we're going to pass it to? We're going to pass nums. That's the list we get from the user, numbers, and we're also going to pass a target, right? What we want to find, okay? And what we're going to return that? Return, okay, nums dot index of what? Index of target. That where actually in the list that is there. And all we have to do now is we have to call this function here, and we have to just first we need to say we need to call the first we need to find the target, right? So we said target is equal to ask the user. First we ask the user to enter the list, right? So we can say L1 is equal to user input, right? And user gonna enter the list, right? And once user enter the list, then we say target is equal to, we can call T as well, you know. T is equal to what? T is equal to input, okay, we convert it to integer, input, okay, and then we say input what? Enter a target, okay, and here what we do is we call find first index, okay, and here we pass on L1, okay, and we pass T, okay, and because we want to print it, right, so we just directly print it, so it will return us the index, I mean where the T exists. So let's see, this one is gonna go here, right, and this T will go here, we'll pass it right here, and then we call this function. When we call this function will be called this one, right, and we directly whatever it returns, it's going to return index of target, right? This whatever the target. So let's run it and see it. Okay, here we go. Ooh, error. Okay, so what the error is all about then? This is here. We need to put this one here, right? And now we say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And we done, right? Now it asks us enter the target. So we want to find out what is the index of 4, for example. Right? So we enter here 4. So what is the index of 4, by the way? 0, right? 1, 2. Index of 4 is 2. So it will return us 2. Right? So let's see it does or not. Here we go, 2. See here, right? 2 is returned here. So that means our operation is working fine. Now let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so number 8. Now in 8th question, I'm asking write a function to take a value in a given number. Same thing, right? Write a function to ask the user to enter values. And then what? Write another function to find the index of the first occurrence of an... that's the one we did, right? Sorry, we did the 8 one. We're going to do the 9 one. Something happening to me, right? So it's a race against the time because I want to get as much as I've done. That's the one we need to do. write a function to take values in a given number, and write another function to create a new list containing only even numbers. So what we're saying is create a list, right, and write a function to create another list with even numbers. So let's do this one then. Okay, first thing first, we basically remove this one, right, because we're going to keep that part always, right. This is what is basically doing the first part of the question, and you know which one's that, right? This part here, right? This part here. I don't know what I'm doing, but okay, this part, right? Write a function to take a value from the user into the list, right? Now, let's write, that's there already, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to write another function called filter even numbers, right? Filter, even, I got terrible spellings and I'm going to get it wrong, numbers. Here we go. Okay, and then you pass what? You pass another number thing here, and you're going to get an error here. So what are you going to return then? You're going to return a new list, right? So you start like this, okay, and you say num, and within that you can do a short sort of like in the programming, you can run a for loop. Even number, right? So you're going to run a for loop on this num, right? So this would start with num is equal to, if you give a space, that means num is equal to whatever values are being returned. For num in nums, okay, you can even say for n in nums as well, no problem with that, right? For nums in nums, okay, and then you say if n percentage 2 is equal to 0, that means even number, right? So what will happen here? Simply it will run the for loop on nums, okay, and then check every time whatever is in nums, if percentage 2 is equal to 0, which means if it is even, it will put that number into num1, this one, right, and create a new list which will be returned. So new list will only contain the even number, okay, and you want to see the magic, right? Very simple. You just say filter even numbers, okay, and by the way, shall I tell you another magic? You don't have to actually, you see this number, right? You need this list. You can directly call this function within the parameter here, and it will take a list and pass to it. Okay? Do you want to do that? All right, let's do that. You can do user underscore input like this. This is same as this, right? Let me tell you this one. L is equal to user input this filter even number L. This is what it is, my friend. I just want to tell you this line here, okay, it is exactly same as these two lines. You know why? Because here you are saying L is equal to this and you are passing L here, right? So instead of doing that, you directly call this function here. So that's the same thing, right? You can combine it together, for shortening it. So let's do this and run this and see if it returns us. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to do, right? I'm going to do this. Sorry. I need to print as well, isn't it? Okay, I need to print. So I want to print as well. Let's print on the same line. Whatever is returned back, you can print it as well, like this. Yeah? Here we go. See, single line, multiple things. You can directly print it. You can save it and print it, or directly print it. So I say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's going to pick up the even number and print a new list for me. Ooh, no. Okay, so there must be some spelling mistake. Filter even numbers user input, right? And start close. This is close for this one. This is close for this one. So what's the problem then? Numbers is not defined. Okay. So that is basically the num is not defined. Which num is not defined? Which line is that? It's line number, return 1, right? For n is equal to num in nums, if n, and that's also nums. Is it? Ooh, okay. So we're going to say here what then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Here we go. What did you get then? this is your list, and ooh, no. There's a problem. This one is printing this one, right? Why is printing twice? No. Nums is equal to num. Here you go, num. That's how it's, sorry, that's my bad. This is how it's going to be, right? So let's do this again. This, and done. Here we go. So only even numbers, right? So just, what was the mistake? Oh, I was supposed to put here num for num. So this is num is going to be new. So num in nums, and num is equal to this. So this is how you basically program it. So this has to be the same variable as here, okay, and as here, okay, and that's the basically the your nums, right? Okay, now let's move on to the next one then. Okay, question number 10. What is the question number 10? By the way, here I explained it what happens there, right? If you want to learn more, it's here. I'll give you this with this. So what is the next one then? Question number 10. Question number 10 is about write a function to take values in a given list numbers by user and write another function to create a new list with square of each element in the original list. So whatever is the original list, the new list should have square of. Like if the original list is 2, the new list should have 4, 3, 9, right? So this is simple as this. So all you have to do is do this, right? So you just program this. Question number 10, right? So we can get rid of this. Okay. So that would be what? Def, okay? And because we're going to call it square, right? Square elements, square underscore, elements, right? And here we're going to say nums, okay? And then we're going to do what? Return. Return what? What was that? Square root, right? Nums multiply by 2, and this is the action you're taking on it, right? For num in nums. So this is how you run the loop, right? So you're running a loop, okay, and you're saying multiply it by 2, right? So in the loop, this each value will be multiplied by 2, and that will save in a new list, and that will be returned as a new list. All you have to do is this one, and then we call it, right? Square elements, and you can directly call it here user input, like I told you earlier on. Yeah, you can directly call user input and also print as well. See, we're doing everything in a single line. We are basically calling this function which will take a value, right, and pass it here, right, and call this function, pass this value here, and whatever the value is returned, it will print it, right? So all in a single line. Did you get that, right? Yeah, of course you did. You're not going to answer me because you're not there. So here we are. So I said 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's going to do what? Square root. Here we go. See? 3, 9, 4, 16, 25, and this is done exactly what we supposed to do. Square root of every single element in the list, but done by this command here, right? Whatever is in the list. So what is the list? This is a list, right? So this is a list we pass, and it run a for loop on that list, okay, and square root it, okay. This is how you do it, right? What if I don't square root it? What this will do then? It will return us the simple list. That's it. Whatever we entered, it will return us the same list. See, now square rooting it. What if I say here, whatever the list is, add 4 to it. So every number will be added 4, right? They see every number will be added 4 in the new list. See here? Added 4 to every single number. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah, are we on the track? Yes, we are, I guess. Okay. Next one is write a function to take values from the user and write another function to sort the list. Oh, that's easy. All you have to do is sorted. What do you have to do? Sorted and return it, right? So how do we do that then? We just write a new function here. Okay. Okay, this one. Here we go. We say def what do you want to call the function? You want to call it sort list, and you take a value nums in there, and you return what then? You return sorted nums. Okay, you sort it and return it. And when you call this one, what do? You how do you call it? Like this. And you can do user input directly in there. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to be more efficient, right? You know, even print it straight away. Let's print it, right? So you see, three things we're doing. You're calling our function here, call within this function, and then printing it. Our same line you could do differently as well, but let's just do this. Okay, here we are. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, done. It's already sorted. Nothing gonna happen. See, sorted. So what if we put it in a different order? We say 3, 2, 1, 7, 1. Now it will be sorted. Here you go. See, in a sorting order. You see here, sorted, right? I just want to take a moment here to explain you the difference between the another way to do this, right? So this line, especially here, you could do this way as well. You could say, you know, instead of doing this line, right? You could do this way as well. You can say, you can basically first use L is equal to user input. I hope you understand what I'm doing here, right? I don't want you to get confused. That's why I'm explaining this again. L, and then you call the function sorted list, sort list, and you pass L to it, and then it's going to return you a sorted list which you pass S is equal to sorted list, and then you can print S. You print S. So exactly same line. You see, this thing what I'm doing here is actually can be done in 3 lines. First you call the function, then what a L you call this function and pass this L to it, and you get S, and then you print S, right? And the same thing you could do on the same line, right? See, call the function. You see here, call the function, call this function within that function as a parameter, okay? And then whatever it returns, you directly print it. So there's no difference between this line and these 2 lines. So they can be used vice versa. So if I remove this, you'll have the same result again. See? No problem, right? Done. Here we go. Same, right? So I hope I won't have to explain this line again. I just want to take a moment to explain this. So where we are then, we are at number 11. 11 is done. Let's go on number 12 then. Okay, number 12 is write a function to take values in a given list, nums, by the user, and write another function to check if all the elements in the list are positive. Now, we need to check if all the elements in the list are positive, right? So there is some simple function called all. I mean, code is here, right? So I'm gonna do this very, very quickly for you here. Okay, I got the list already, so I said def, right? And I said all underscore positive. That's then my own function which I'm defining. I'm passing nums to it, right? And then I'm gonna return what then? I'm gonna return all. All, that is basically what? All where number is greater than 0. Number is greater than 0 mean all positive, right? For num in nums. Okay, because I'm going to run this on for num in nums, where num is basically greater than positive. So this, what it's doing is it's running a for loop, okay, and that's a condition within the for loop. So if for num in num is greater than 0, it will return into this list and return the whole list to us, right? All the numbers as a list, okay. And all we have to do now is call this function, right? So you know how to call this function. You just call this function. You say, we call this function and print it, my friend. Print it as well. We call it and print it. Positive. And within that, we take the input from the user. See? Here we go. See that? Yeah? This line in the last video and a few moments ago, I explained you this, right? Okay, I don't need to explain you this again, hopefully. So this way, I run this again, and see it starts. So this, the moment I run it, actually this gets in action. It starts from inside. This gets in action, then it calls this, and then it calls this, right? This is how, if you do a multiple function in the same line, function within a function, right? Calling as a parameter, then this would happen first. So this is going to happen first, and this is going to ask you to enter the numbers. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, this. So it's going to only take positive numbers and return you, right? I'm going to done. Here you go. False. Oh, all positive? No. Not all positive. It's going to return false. It will return true if all are positive, right? Here we go. So it's going to do this. All positive, it's going to return true. Here you go. See? True. All positive, return true. So this is what it is looks like. Now let's move on to the next one then. What is the next one? Next one is 13, all right? 13 says, write a function to take values in a given list by the user and write another function to find the second largest element, right? What do we have to do? We have to sort it, right? And then after sorting it, we just pass this -2 and it will return us the second largest. Okay, why? Because the first largest is at the bottom, right? So -1 is first largest, -2 is second largest, -3 is third largest, because it starts from the bottom. So the way it works is like this. This is a list, right? When you sort it, the highest number will be on top, lowest number will be on top, and highest number will be at the bottom. And the bottom is basically, you can say -1. This index called -1 from the bottom. It's -2. So second largest would be here, right? So that's why this one, you put it there, second largest, right? So let's do this, and, right, okay. So we have to type it, right? Second largest. So what do you want to name it? No. Oh, come on, man. My screen, because I'm sharing my screen. Here we go. We are here. No problem. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do the second largest, right? Question number 13. I'm going to do the question number 13, right? Which is the second largest, right? So I'm going to do def underscore, that's second underscore largest. So this is the last question in this video, and then we'll take a break, okay? Yeah. And here we do the nums, okay? And then what we return then? We return sorted, okay? Sorted, right? Return what? Sorted what? Nums. And then with this one you put -2, which means when it's sorted, return the second largest element, and all you have to do is call this and print it, right? I will print it, we call it largest, okay, and then we also call the function here user input, like this, right? And if I do this, it will return me the second largest. So here, if I do, what is second largest? Largest would be 100, right? Second largest should be 99, okay? And it will return me 99, index of 99. And I'm going to be done here. Here we go, 99, see? It returned me 99, yeah? Because that's the second largest, right? If I say here -1, it will return me the first largest, right? Which was 100. If I do this, 100, it will return me the 100, right? You see, it returned me the 100. So with this, I'm going to take a break now, okay? Because we have done quite a lot, tired a little. So let's take a break.